Welcome back to the F123 driver career. Just 3 races to go at Alfa Romeo before you guys vote for me to move somewhere else. Fully dry sprint weekend here in Brazil. So quali and a full sprint of 24 laps and then the full race of 71. We're going to do over 100 laps of this Brazilian circuit by the end of the weekend, and it's going to be particularly intense. We currently, after a fantastic result in the last race with a P2 in Mexico, have the opportunity to continue to close in on Fernando Alonso. Unfortunately, though, Fernando Alonso got a win in that race. It was quite the dramatic Mexican Grand Prix that's very much worth your watch. At the moment, I'm going to need to take some penalties as well today. Grid pens for the sprint weekend. I need a new ICE anyway. That's enforced. I can get away with no new MGUH. I need a new no MGUK. I need a new MGUH, however. I can get away with no energy store. That's not a problem. But I'm going to need a new turbo. I'm going to need a new gearbox as well before we get to qualifying. So plenty of grid penalties to be taken here. You can see how tight the performance index is still. That's why we're competing where we are at the moment. Some of it is track specific for sure, but when we move next year, we will be upping the difficulty for next season. We're at 103 currently. I may up it before the end of this season, but I don't have any expectation to at the minute. I might gauge it off this sprint weekend. Might be a good opportunity to see if 103 in the sprint is still slightly too fast, and then we up it to 104 before starting season 2 at 105. We'll play it by ear. But for now, I'm happy to stay where I am, considering we're not really in the running for anything. It might just be nice to enjoy the end of the season. We'll wait and see. But I'm going to head straight to practice now to get my eye in around this Brazilian Grand Prix circuit, which is mwah. Everyone loves Interlagos, and I'm certainly one of the everyone category. Do drop the video a like if you're enjoying this save. However, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any more. This may well go live on Christmas Eve. If it does, then thank you very much for your support on the run up to Christmas. Enjoy your Christmas day. I'll be live again on the 27th. Videos will return for FC on the 26th. But for now, I'm going to concentrate on the 23rd, because that's when I'm recording this, and I'm going to head to practice in Brazil. Drop the video a like, subscribe to this channel, subscribe to all the YouTube channels, follow me on Twitch. Let's go and drive. Happy with practice. Going to put some fresh parts in for quali. Considerably faster than anybody else, but we did a quali run, whereas nobody else did, I don't think, which is why we're as far up as we are there. We'll go through qualifying. We'll see how competitive we are, and I will contemplate upping the difficulty in this race, depending on what the scenario is with our competitiveness relative to everyone else. Gonna need a new MGUH. Don't need a new energy store, do I know? Definitely need a new turbo. No new control electronics, so we'll put the fresher one in, and definitely need a new gearbox as well. Lots of penalties to be taken at this Grand Prix weekend, but none of which will affect us for qualifying or for the sprint race, so let's maximise our performance in those 2 sessions. I'm not going to get a tow. Just going to get a slow lap time. We might be going out of qualifying in Q1. Oh, to be fair, I said anything in the 8s. Anything in the 8s I'd be happy with. And we are 109.030, so I couldn't get much more off the 8s. Much closer to the 8s if I tried. That was a dead lap as well, so we'll take it. Still P12 it says on the steering wheel. P13 as others cross the line. P14 can't be any lower than P15. Still P14. I think we're good. I think we're through. With horrendous tyres, or sorry, no, a horrendous lap, we're through to Q2. It got busy on that quali lap, and I didn't enjoy it, but we got the job done nonetheless. We've got half a second in the pocket. Ultimately, it doesn't really matter, does it? Because we're going to be starting the race last, but we'll accelerate through the time. I think we should be through with that. I hope we're through with that. Anyway, everybody else going out, setting their lap times, and I'm pretty sure we're through. With that 108.4 on worn tyres, Indeed we are. P7. They got into the 1 minute 7s, however, the Aston Martin and the McLaren. Bottas out in P13, unfortunately for him. Sergio Perez and George Russell also both out in Q2. So some shock departures there. They'll be starting higher than me in the full Grand Prix, but we have the opportunity to start ahead of them in the sprint. Now then, what can we do in full qualifying Q3 spec? Let's see what we do. We have saved a set of tyres, though, which is banging for the rest of the Grand Prix weekend. That will come very much in handy. Not a perfect lap, but certainly the most complete lap that I've put in so far. Purple middle sector, as expected. 1 minute 7 something is what we're aiming for. 1 minute 7 is what we get, and I think that's pole.
Okay, good job, mate.
It is indeed pole for the sprint race. I will up the difficulty to 104 from 103 for the sprint race, depending on what the gap was. 3/10. I will up the difficulty to 105 now. We'll go to 105. We start the sprint race first. Whether we end the sprint race first remains to be seen, because obviously the AI are very strong in a straight line around here, and I'm set up for the middle sector. So I'm expecting to get mugged down the straights, but we will up the difficulty. We will up the difficulty to 105 for the sprint race. From 103 to 105. Alright. Practice. And then the sprint. Quali done. Not quali done. Well, yeah, quali done. And practice done as well. Bottas doesn't get quite as many resource points, unfortunately. So we haven't gained a massive amount from that session. Whether we've actually got enough to go and add something more to the car before the Las Vegas Grand Prix, I don't know. Or at the very least, before Abu Dhabi. But the sprint race is what's up next. A sprint race where we have some anticipation of what might happen with the updating of the overall difficulty. But have I got enough to do anything? 14. I could do front downforce. I can't do rear downforce. I could do weight redistribution. Weight reduction would be lovely. Can't afford to do that. Let's do weight redistribution then. That will be done before Abu Dhabi, and that's all my resource points spent, unfortunately. So to the sprint we go. Probably comfortably done on the mediums, but might be able to get it done on the softs, but that would be a real push. I might go conservative. Tyres suitably warmed up. We're going to be on the outside for turn 1 here from pole. 0.6 will do. Piastri, Norris, Hamilton and Verstappen behind. Everybody on softs apart from Sainz on the mediums. So we'll see. We'll judge by Carlos Sainz as to whether it was a good idea or not a good idea to be on the softs. We'll also judge by our overall performance whether it was a good idea or not a good idea to up the difficulty to 105. Bit of wheel spin off the mark. Oh my god, terrible start by Lando. He's plummeting. He's going to get swallowed. Lando Norris down to 3rd already. Verstappen might well get through as well. And we're off. Hamilton right with me. We've actually got a second gap, myself and Lewis, to those behind already. But we are running more downforce than everyone else. So expecting to be under pressure down the straights for sure. Gonna have to use a lot of battery for that, but as you can see already, we should be pretty strong through the middle sector still. even at the higher difficulty. So we'll try and utilise that as best we can. And see where this sprint race sees us end up. But pretty simple, straightforward start for us at the moment. Norris has been able to hold on to P3. There's still more than a second between him and me. But ultimately, I'd like more than a second between him and Lewis. Because Lewis will get me with DRS. Of that, there's no doubt. I'm going to have nothing to defend against that. But the minute the gap between me and Lewis is the same as the gap between Lewis and Lando. So when DRS is a thing at the end of this lap, Lewis is probably going to take me into turn 4. These tyres are going to be very, very unhappy by the end of this sprint race. Very unhappy indeed. Able to hold Lewis off into turn 4, but I did have to burn quite a bit of battery to do so. I need to make sure I maximise my middle sector every lap. Any mistakes made in the middle sector will almost certainly cost me a position by the end of the lap. Someone's in the pits behind us, Max Verstappen. The Red Bull in the pits. It's not great for him. He'll probably be joining me then at the back for the full Grand Prix. Here comes Mr. Hamilton. I'll go defensive. He's going to go round the outside. Hold him off. Going to be doing this a lot for the rest of this sprint race. Making the car as wide as possible at, thankfully, one of the narrowest circuits on the calendar. Lewis might actually come under pressure from Lando soon, but we're gapping. Notice the gap between the two McLarens is more than a second. We're well clear of them. And there's a massive gap between Piastri and Leclerc as well. Don't know whether something happened there to warrant that gap opening up as much as it did. At the moment, we're comfortably top 4 anyway. Not comfortably anything else. Lewis going for the inside this time. I'll hold it around the outside and keep the position. Every lap this is going to be. Every lap. Oh my god, look at the speed difference. Nothing I can do about that. That was insane. I'm going to have DRS here, though.
Keep on him. He might make a mistake.
Question is, can I take it back? I'm not going to try here. We know we're faster through the middle sector. And that just showed that, provided we get a decent exit, and he's not got much battery, we should be able to take the position back into turn 1 the same way that Lewis took it off me. Yellow flag's behind. There's an Aston Martin. I know his engine's gone. I thought he'd stopped, but no, he's just moving really slowly. Fair enough. You'd pull in the pits, wouldn't you? Let's be honest. You'd pull in the pits. That is Lance Stroll out. Not close enough this lap. I was too poor in the middle sector. But we'll maintain the gap to Lando, and we will try and take the position off Lewis again.
Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 11.2 seconds.
I could just sit and sit and sit and then try and make the overtake with like a couple of laps to go, but seems like too much of a risk to take. From a long way back. Hello, it's me. Bye. Lando's looking for it up the inside as well. I don't want to let him have it. Now to get back to Lewis, if possible. 25% halfway through. 6 drivers. 5 constructors. We said that the R&D charts were very close between a number of sides, a number of teams, and I think the fact that there are 5 constructors in the top 6 here just compounds that opinion. It's absolutely electric for intriguing Constructors' Championship and varied racing when any number of drivers could be challenging for the victory from any number of teams, including at the minute ourselves at Alfa Romeo. The true test of this 105 will be in the main race when we're trying to come through from literally 20th. This is going to be less of a lunge on Lewis, but it's still going to be a bit of a lunge. I think it was every bit as much of a lunge in the end. 30% worn the tyres now. And again. Oh, I'm such an idiot. I need to really concentrate around Yun Sao, and I just haven't been. Lewis gets me again as we head on to lap 20 of 24. We're down to P2. Oh my god, my rear tyres hate me.
No need to worry about the tyre condition for
Oh
now.
yeah, great timing, lads. Great timing. From first to fourth. Solely down to rear traction and nothing else. Yellow flag's behind. It's a Ferrari, I think, going slowly. Carlos Sainz is going to retire. It's gone defensive, Piastri. And then locked up. We've got round the outside of him, but we're out of DRS range of the front two now. And under threat from behind again.
You made it look so easy.
And put the car in the middle of the road, and he's going to have to make a decision. He's gone left. Alonso's going to go right. Nearly ended up down in fifth. We'll hold Alonso off. We'll go for Piastri, but I think that's the front two gone. The potential win in the sprint disappears, and it's all my fault for screwing up twice in quick succession with my throttle application and just having so much rear wheel spin from these horrendously worn tyres. Only 2 more laps to try and get it done, so we'll go for it now. On the outside of Piastri, at the inside of Piastri, off track. But he didn't commit to the overtake round the outside. Okay.
For 3 more laps.
Well, Piastri's going to go through. The Ferrari arrived. Everybody outbraked each other. And Charles Leclerc has gone from 6th to 4th. That was opportune from the Ferrari. Alonso and Piastri out of position. And Charles Leclerc was like, well, ta very much. I'll take those, shall I? What a move. You never know, we may end up as teammates at Ferrari next year with Charles Leclerc. Don't know whether he made a mistake there or what, but he's just dropped out of DRS range, which is perfect for me. Use my battery to maintain it as well. So as we head on to the last lap of the sprint, it will be Lewis or Lando from myself, from Leclerc or Piastri or Alonso. Couldn't tell you which.
Final lap.
Very intense sprint race. And now there's a whole race to come. 25% of the race distance for the weekend completed as Lando takes the lead.
Ahead is 5.1 seconds.
75% left to come. Lando might well have just won the sprint on the last lap, but I bet you it's going to be a hell of a drag race up to the line. Don't write Lewis Hamilton out of this yet. Oh, concentrate, says. Stop looking at the deltas. Get your job done first. They're all scrapping behind, though, maintaining the gaps, thankfully. P1 to P3 in the sprint. Could have been more. Could have been a race win. Actually, Lando has gapped Lewis quite considerably. It's going to be Lando Norris that's going to win the sprint race. Lewis Hamilton will come home second. I could have won. I will take third. And I'm quite happy with the difficulty. When driving my absolute best, able to hold P1 but make any mistakes, and you pay for the mistakes. Pretty much where you should be, really. Admittedly, yes, we should be maybe a little bit further back, given the performance index, but with it being so close, I think 105 is all right for now. We shall 105 it for the full Grand Prix, and starting at the back, this will give us a very good idea of whether it is or is not the right difficulty setting. But 6 points for me. Alonso takes P4 at the end. 5 points for him. We close on Fernando by 1. But he's going to get a hell of a head start on me in the full race. So now comes 71 more laps. Max Verstappen will be near the back. I don't know as anyone else will have taken any penalties. But at the moment, I'm expecting to start P20. No penalties outside of... Oh, Piastri. Piastri with a pen. Bottas will start the Grand Prix P7. Lots of penalties. Verstappen starts 11th. Piastri pen. Sargent 14th. So Russell penalty. Ocon penalty. Ricciardo, myself, Sainz and Stroll. Lots of pens in Brazil. We don't start last. We start 18th. That's going to be intriguing. What's everyone else starting on? Lots of mediums, some hards, some softs at the back. I do have an extra set of soft tyres compared to most people, and it reckons I could go soft, soft, medium. 21, 30, 20. Then if there is a safety car or whatever, we could go to the hards off the mediums, or to another set of mediums, which I believe we might still have available to us. Although they might have been thrown away after the sprint race, which shouldn't happen, but in-game does, I believe. But regardless, we've got plenty of options there. We'll start on the softs, try and make as much time as we can, and take it from there. Fuel-wise, I'm actually happy to take some out here based on the race stint. We had 1.3 laps worth of extra fuel in the car, and we ended with over 1.5, but I don't know how much of that was attributed to being on the same set of soft, or same set of warm tyres, actually. So I will be slightly more conservative than initially I was going to be. Soft, medium, soft. P18 to where? And 0.2. We're on softs, a number around us on mediums, hoping to make some ground in the first few laps before then hoping to cling on to that ground when my softs start to go off. Hulkenberg with a terrible start has offered up a bit of a gap, and we will utilise that gap and then get round the outside. That is a dream start. That could not have gone any better. P18 to P13 by the end of the first 2 corners. And now we're right with Max Verstappen, who's also on softs, who hopefully we can follow through the pack. Oh, mate, that couldn't have gone any better. That really couldn't have gone any better. Hulkenberg getting a slow start is what triggered all of that. Up the inside of Max Verstappen here as they go all single file. We lean on our downforce around the outside to then have the inside line for the next right-hander. And keep the place, hopefully. Run Max out a bit. There we go. Position assured, P12.
Okay, the start was fine. Let's try and move forward.
The start was fine. Fine. Telling me 6 places on lap 1 isn't exceptional. That's just fine, is it? Suit yourself. Valtteri's holding up a couple of people in front, which is going to make this DRS train back up. Piastri's dropped to 10th, although he had a penalty as well, didn't he? I forgot about that. Lando Norris leads. Charles Leclerc second. Lewis Hamilton's lost a couple of positions. Or a position, maybe 2 to his teammate. Oh no, George is back here, isn't he? So yeah. Lewis down to P3. And holding up a bit of a train at the minute. I wonder whether Lewis has damage at all. Could make a lunge for K-Mag here. We will make a lunge for K-Mag here. Lean on the aero and the softer rubber. That's P11. Nearly into the points.
Nice move. Good job.
Long way to go though. Still only lap 3 of 70. Sorry, still only lap 2 of 71. No visual damage on that Mercedes. Maybe some floor, perhaps? Oh no, he's on hard tyres. That's what it is. I've just noticed he's on hard tyres. Lewis on hards. Someone's boxed already. Daniel for a front wing after colliding with George Russell. But Lewis, the gap is growing to Lewis because he's on hard tyres, not for any reason regarding damage at all.
We can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead.
That'll be why.
DRS zone.
Bottas P8 currently, but Alex Albon rather keen on getting past him. as am I on Piastri at the minute. Might try the old up the inside here move on him as well, which we have done. It's P10. Piastri on mediums. Oh, Bottas is on hards as well. So he too is playing the long game. But because he's able to keep up with those in front, this is actually really helping Valtteri. As it stands right now, with him on the hards and able to stay in the DRS train, Valtteri might be on for a very good finish at the end of this race. The longer he stays in DRS, the better chance he has of getting a good result and points for the team. We're going to slow each other right up here. Contact as well between Valtteri and Alex. I had to get out the throttle there. Otherwise I was going into the back of my teammate, and Piastri very nearly going into the back of me. Albon through. We hope to be the next one through on our teammate. We would call team orders, but if we're completely honest, at the moment it would cause more harm than good, because Valtteri would lose more than one position. So I go for it. I might do a lunge up the inside of Valtteri, just like we did to Lewis Hamilton in the sprint race. Gets us up into P9. Within DRS range of Albon in front as well, although only just. Valtteri's coming, but I'm just going to burn battery here. He does the right thing. Stays behind, holds position. That's just what's going to work out best for the both of us. And now we're off to try and make some more positions. Still everybody stuck behind Lewis. Alonso and Ocon have made their way through. It might be Gasly actually up there. Look at the gap. Lando and Charles are well and truly gone. Alex is going to go defensive here on me. I'll try and run the outside, but I've got to be sure I don't run into the back of Yuki, which we managed to avoid doing. It's P8, although it might only be for now, because Alex will come back at us here. I'm going to have to burn, and by doing so, we're able to keep the position. Okay, P8, Yuki next. Yuki does have DRS. Is he going to go defensive? He's not.
Okay, so
Lunge, hello. Hamilton and Perez getting side by side as Checo looks to make the move on the Mercedes. Yuki's coming back at me and will take the place. And Alex Albon's got a run off turn 3 as well. And Albon's going for it now. They're still slow in front. Albon's stuck to me, but after all of that, we stay P8. Can I get around the outside of Yuki here? No. You know what I want to do? I'm going to do it. P7. Checo on mediums, Lewis on hards. It's not going to be too long now before their tyres start to be the better option compared to our own. So we kind of need to get these two moves done sooner rather than later as well if we can. A safety car at any point would be fantastic in terms of closing the gaps back up. They will open up again, however, if I continue to do that. No idea where that snap came from. Feel like I drove that the same way I always do. We'll hold on to the position ahead of Yuki. Pull back in front.
Yellow flag.
That's in front. That's an Alpine. Gasly retiring. Gasly's out. That's a free position. That's P6 for us now.
Okay, clear.
No VSC or safety car for that. He's just pulled off. Noah's going for it. Going to put each other offline and slow. Contacts between the two. Checo on the inside line. It's really tight through here. Lewis maybe going for a switch back. No, not able to do it. That's Checo past Lewis Hamilton now, and hopefully it'll be me past Lewis Hamilton in the not too distant future as well. This is one of my favourite moves in the whole calendar. The old dive up the inside here, but we're not close enough to pull it off this time around. We're getting to the point now where my tyres are going to be close to, if not already past, 25%. And look at Sergio Perez just disappear. My rears are past 25%, so we're going to have to be really careful with putting down the power now. We're going to pit lap 21. and hope that we can make some moves before the end of the race. Lewis has got a lot more grip than me now. And there will come a time not too far down the line where he'll have more grip than Checo as well. With gapping tremendously the AlphaTauri and Williams behind, but we should be expected to do so, really. We're only really as high as we are because of penalties to other drivers. Verstappen had a pen, Russell had a pen, Piastri had a pen, Sainz had a pen. That's a number of other drivers that would ordinarily, I think, at this difficulty have been in front of us. So, whilst yes, this is a test of 105, it's not a true test because there are a number of cars displaced. I'm expecting some of them in around about lap 19. They wanted to... The default strategy for soft, medium was 19 laps on the first set of softs and then a really long middle stint, which made no sense whatsoever, really. Because as soon as we edited it, it said we gained about 6 or 7 seconds, so... Really peculiar. Maybe it needs a tweak from the dev team, I don't know. Thankfully, Checo's not getting too far ahead. Lewis has seen that coming before. But wasn't able to deal with it in the sprint race and hasn't been able to deal with it here either. 7 seconds to Alonso. And then probably another 7 or so to Leclerc and Norris. Valtteri's in the pits at the end of lap 17. That's an early stop. And he's the first of anybody else to come in. So he will come out P18 right now. Right, so some more of pit now as well because Albon and Yuki have dipped from behind because it now goes Piastri, then Verstappen. And thank the Lord Lewis is in on this lap. Lewis boxing because he was about to take me there. I think they're using a lot of their battery now. I will probably pit this lap to cover for Lewis, actually. Rather than go all the way to 21, we will box this lap on lap 20. Try and not get undercut too much by Lewis Hamilton. I'm intrigued to know what he goes to next. He started on the hards. Is he going softs, then mediums, or hard, soft, or what? We're going soft, medium, soft. That's the plan currently. In we come then. Softs off, mediums on, yellow flag, Ferrari retiring. Carlos Sainz is going to retire. I presume that is just engine failure rather than contact between the Ferrari and the Mercedes. Yeah. That is pop. That is Carlos Sainz out of the Brazilian Grand Prix. We're into the box. Don't think there's going to be a safety car or VSC for that.
Okay, go. Perfect job from you.
There probably should be in real life, but that is us in the pits and out of the pits.
1 stop to go. Just 1 stop left in this strategy.
We're going to try and take these mediums a long way now. So we're going to try and look after them in the opening stages. There is Lewis. Hold on, Ches. Who's that? Albon. Do I? Probably not. He's on fresh softs, to be fair. Lewis has gone medium. So we know Lewis is 2-stopping. So he's gone hard, medium. So Lewis Hamilton will go softs at the end. As will we. And now ourselves and Lewis are on the exact same strategy. It's just that we used softs first. He used hards first. But Checo 1-stopping is intriguing. And I imagine he'll go medium hard. Unless he takes those mediums a very long way. And then tries to take the softs just as long. Curiously, Albon's gone soft. But Tsunoda hasn't. Tsunoda's gone soft medium. Bottas has gone hard medium. So we're probably on the same strategy as our teammate now. Lewis is pulling away a little bit here, which is not really what we can afford to let happen. I need to get past Alex Albon sooner rather than later. Lewis set the fastest lap of the race. Then Alexander Albon set the fastest lap of the race. I don't think there was much between the three of us there as that went through. Lewis did a 1:11.175. I did a 1:11. 1:75. Wow. And Albon did a 1:11.148. Myself and Lewis putting in the exact same lap time that time around. Hello, Alex. I'd like P9 back, please. I'm going to go really aggressive. He went defensive. I've gone even more aggressive. We'll get the job done. P9. Now we're after Lewis again.
0.5 seconds.
Purple middle sector as the fuel burns off. I really could have underfueled for this. We started with like 0.8 laps worth of extra fuel. We've now got 1.3 laps worth of extra fuel. Lewis into P7 ahead of K-Mag. Hopefully they hold each other up a little bit. They haven't really. Lewis is through. Now we're after Kevin. Kevin is really struggling. We just took a second out of him in 3 corners. Oh, he's really struggling. Hi, Kev. Bye, Kev. I can't waste time behind you, Kev. I've got to go, mate. Bye. Lewis now right behind his teammate. Will George make it difficult for him, or will team orders be at play? Russell having a look at someone else, whilst Lewis has a look at the 2 of them. Russell gets Verstappen. Verstappen now 6th, Hamilton 7th. The 3 of them split by a couple of tenths at most. And then I'm going to arrive on the scene. And I'd certainly like some of this party, please. Verstappen surely can't be on the same softs that he started the race on. He can't be on the same softs as he started the race on, surely. He is. Wow. Max Verstappen going a long way on those softs. He's soft medium 1 stopping then. The 1 stop's not the one. It just isn't. It's a terrible strategical decision from those that are on it. Lewis going to go for Max here. They'll both have DRS. Might be a wise idea just to let this play out and not get involved in anything around turn 1. Try and pick up some pieces if there are any to be picked up. Didn't do that very smoothly. I tried to nip up the inside of Max. He didn't see me coming and just turned in and took the corner as he normally would. Thankfully, no damage. Max is through. Albon's having a look up my inside now, but I've got the inside line into this right-hander. But my God, that straight line speed was something, wasn't it?
Okay, we lost the position.
We've got it back again, though. Right, we're going to use our favourite move on Max Verstappen. Oh, I'm not going to have the chance to. Yeah, I am. Right, come on then. Right, we go for Lewis. I got lucky with that botched move on Max. Very lucky. Lewis not yet past George, but it won't be long. George also on a 1-stopper. And Mercedes will be past Mercedes by the time we get to turn 1, you imagine. Lewis going round the outside. Albon's past Verstappen now as well. Albon on fresher tyres though, obviously. That's a shame for Oscar Piastri. It's great for me though. And great for Valtteri as well, who's just got past him. Russell having a go back at Lewis here. Not able to get it done. It's going to bring them both within touching distance of me. And with the middle sector to come, we should get even closer. Hi George, guess what I'm going to do to you, mate?
Overtake button and see what you can do.
And we are, oh, not quite within DRS range of Lewis. Close, but not quite. I got too hasty. I thought maybe with a good exit, and then I ballsed it up because I got too excited, too impatient. Slammed my foot to the floor and just went sideways, not forwards. Bottas also ahead of Verstappen now. Wow. Those softs are so dead. I don't think they've stopped yet, has he, Max? Max has done... I mean, bear in mind, in the sprint race, we were very much light on fuel, and the tyres were absolutely gone by lap 24. Max has now taken his soft tyres with a full fuel load, 32 laps. Insane decision. The one stop is never going to be an option around here. Fernando Alonso has taken those medium tyres 35 laps and has gone to softs and is now going to attempt to take those softs 36 laps, or 37 even. He's going to do a Max Verstappen-esque stint. I just don't see it working. Unless there's a safety car where they can switch off that strategy, I don't see the one-stop being a strategy that is going to work at all for them. We're not even halfway through this stint yet. Oh no, wait, we pit lap 20, didn't we? Yeah, we're halfway through this stint. I was thinking we pit lap 24, but that was just the sprint race. We pit lap 20, we're going to lap 51, so we're halfway through this stint. Valtteri stopping again. Not sure where from. George Russell sets the fastest lap of the race with a 1:10 flat. Checo won't be long for the pits, I'm sure. Oh my god, you're so slow. That's P4. 18 seconds to Lando and Charles Leclerc. 18. I mean, that will come down. They still haven't pit yet. Checo now has from directly behind us. I don't think either Lewis or myself are going to be able to finish in the front two. We're kind of battling it out with Fernando Alonso now and Sergio Perez to see who's going to get that third place spot on the podium. Lando's in, Leclerc is not. Lando Norris looking for the undercut to try and take the lead of the Grand Prix. Lewis is able to maintain the gap just outside DRS range from me. Lando has gone softs.
The Alfa Romeo driver's stopping now.
No, he's not. He's in a McLaren, Jeff. It's not Jeff, it's Mark, isn't it? So Lando and Fernando now going to be both behind us on fresh softs. Elbows out time. But not so much so that Lewis gets away. Expecting Leclerc to be in this lap. If I have to cede position to hopefully take it back later, then that's fine by me. If it means we keep Lewis within touching distance as well. He's our direct strategical rival at the moment. Leclerc is in as expected. And Lewis too? Lewis must be mediuming then, surely. I'm going to try and hang on to the DRS off the back of Fernando and Lando though. And that will help me no end, surely, to overcut Lewis Hamilton, who he has gone soft tyres. But he's going to try and take those soft tyres 32 laps. Lando comes through. His tyres are even more so fresher than Alonso's. Alonso's tyres are about 5 laps fresher than mine. Norris's are about 15 laps fresher than mine. No, 10 laps fresher than mine. So no surprise. No, more 15. We put 15 plus. We put these on lap 20, didn't we? So Lando's tyres are like 18 laps fresher than mine. So no surprise that he's just dipped and disappeared. Now I've got Charles Leclerc closing me down behind as well. I'm worried about a massive undercut. But at the same time, I have to be worried about pitting. There are two things on my mind. I either pit where we want to and do a 20-lap stint on softs and hope that those that have pit this early are just deathly slow by the end, with their tyres being 10 laps more worn than mine. Or we know from the sprint race that the soft tyres will go 24 laps. So I could dip on lap 47 rather than 51 and then try and take the tyres the same length as a sprint race and pit a little bit earlier and try and minimalise, well not minimalise, but try and not lose quite so much time with the undercut to those that have pit this early for their softs. I'm torn at the moment. I don't know whether to pit 51 or 47, and only time will tell. I'm sure chat will have a strong choice, strong decision to be made, strong influence on the decision that is ultimately made. Lewis has just taken his teammate. That's crucial information. Reckons I'll come out 13th now when I pit. Ultimately, I need to come out in front of that group where the Alpine and the Williams are, and where Piastri is, and my teammate, as it happens. I want to come out in front of them, and I think the longer I stay out now, the more likely I am of coming out the pits in front of them. I think I'm going to box this lap. And then it's just, who's got the pace to the end? In we come. I want to come out in front of the Williams. I really want to come out in front of Albon, but I don't think I'm going to get the chance to. I think I'm going to come out in that traffic.
Okay, let's go now.
Good quick stop.
That was a fantastic stop. Faster than we were
Oh,
expecting.
we need to get out now.
Pit strategy complete.
Don't put it in the
See
wall.
these tyres through to the end now.
Put it in the wall. Coming out the pits. Oh, that's close. We've made the right decision with the pit stop. One lap later, and we'd have had all of this traffic to get through. Now we don't. Oh my God, what a call. That was, similarly to Mexico, some of the closest calls from pit stops we've ever seen in terms of getting it right with traffic. In the last race, it was thanks to Badger. In this race, we've done it with ourselves and chat. Right, we've come out in P8 then. Now the question is, how many positions can we get back with these fresh tyres? Russell's 10 seconds, which means Perez is 10.2, and then Lewis. At the moment,
Okay, gap ahead is 4.
we're just wondering, can we make it back to 4th? This should be fastest lap for us, I hope. Anyway, I'm going to use a lot of battery to try and get it after a purple middle sector. There it is, 109.5. We should hold that to the end of the race now, unless there's a safety car or any unexpected pit stops. And TRS off Max now as well. We might even set another fastest lap as the fuel burns off. We do 109.3. Max is knackered. Max is just straight up had it, as he was last time we caught him. They're quick in a straight line though, regardless of tyre wear. They are still very, very fast in a straight line, and they are not through the corners. Oh, I'm losing time here. I'm going to go all the way around the outside of Max if I can. Which we have done. That's a move and a half. Bye, Max. I'm after Perez and Russell.
Good job, nice overtake.
I enjoyed that one. Not very often Max Verstappen gets overtaken at all, let alone like that. Still 21 laps to go as we cross the line. Don't even know if Checo and George are holding each other up. And Checo might just be dragging George along. He says that as George then goes for a move. And they hold each other up by about half a second. Thanks, lads. Now's where I'm losing time. Verstappen's in the box. Verstappen will take my fastest lap of the race then. That's annoying. I need to get past these two sharpish if I stand any chance of catching Hamilton. Tried the same move on Checo that I did on Verstappen. It's probably not going to work anywhere near as well. It didn't work as well, but it has worked, and that's the most important thing. And then George is next. Okay, more pitters then. Valtteri's in the box as well. George is coming. My God, the gap to the front three is 20 seconds. Is it Qatar all over again, or are we getting too carried away? The fact that they're all going to be getting DRS off one another, it's probably getting carried away if we think we're closing that 20-second gap, surely. Unless they just fight and fight and fight, because there is a win on the line, in which case we might catch them. Just taking a second out of them in the middle sector. If I can do that every lap. And they are fighting, as you can see. Lando just dropped into P3 now. And they're lapping traffic. Is a win maybe on the cards here? We will have this tyre advantage for the entirety of the rest of the race. My tyres are 15% right now. If I can remain mistake-free, we might stand a chance of a podium. Should have DRS here, I think, just by a few milliseconds. Indeed we do. So we boxed on lap 46. So these tyres have now done 10 laps. Just said they're on old softs. He didn't actually tell me how old Lewis's softs were, so I don't know what sort of tyre advantage I have on him. I'll ask again. Hopefully they tell me this time. 17. So I have a 7-lap tyre advantage on Lewis Hamilton, and an even bigger tyre advantage on those in front of Lewis Hamilton. We will definitely finish ahead of Lewis. Tyre wear was his undoing in Mexico. Tyre wear is going to be his undoing in Brazil as well, but I can't get impatient, make any mistakes and lose a front wing or a tyre in the process. I'm going to concentrate and try and do this properly. And that could be now. It wasn't the greatest of runs through Yunsao at all, but DRS, ERS, P4 please. Oh, Lewis went deep, running side by side. He'll now have DRS for this bit. 13 seconds in front. Lewis is just... Lewis will be P4 again in a moment. Can't afford this, Lewis.
Nice move. Good job.
Just going to burn to try and stay in front. I need to stay in front. I'm going to stay in front. Okay. 12.5 laps to try and get past, or close and get past 3 more cars. They are stuck in traffic at the minute. Or at least encountering traffic, and Lando lost a lot of time there. 26 to 28% all round the tyres. There's going to be 10% more than that. Alonso and Leclerc still battling for the lead, which has brought Lando back to them and closed us in even more. Some well-timed DRS off the back of Daniel Ricciardo would be lovely. All the way from the bottom of the hill to the first corner. That would be perfect. 7 laps to go. 7 seconds to a podium. Thank you, mate. Appreciate you. Shame we didn't get any DRS, but that's the luck of the draw. 6 laps, 6 seconds. No mistakes. Come on. No mistakes. 5 laps, 5 seconds. Leclerc has pieced out.
Car in front is 4.9 seconds.
Gap to Charles Leclerc from Alonso is growing now. 4 laps, 4 seconds, but I'm running out of VRS. Valtteri P9 right now. Double points finish for Aston Martin on the board. Well, with Fernando in P2, for Aston Martin. Double points finish for Alfa Romeo on the board. But with Fernando Alonso in P2, Aston Martin is still going to extend their gap over us in the constructors, annoyingly.
5 laps of fuel remaining. 5 laps of fuel left.
3 laps, 3.3 seconds. Can physically see him now. No more safety cars. Or no more chance of safety cars as the tyres are at
Okay, gap ahead is
42% wear. This is it to the end. We either get a podium or we don't. 2 laps, 2.5 seconds. It's a big ask. We'll try. They're about to catch a Haas. At least Charles Leclerc is about to catch a Haas. Is that a late curveball here? Not just for me and Lando, but for everybody in front of him as well. Leclerc has passed him. 1 lap, 1.2 seconds. I think I needed... I think I'm going to be in a position where I needed 1 more lap. Or 2 more laps, at most. Oh, mate! We have driven so hard to stand a chance here. But I don't think it's going to be enough. See what we can do in the middle sector to maybe have a DRS run to the line. Annoyingly, Lando is going to get DRS off the Haas. Not, oh no, I don't think he did actually. But ultimately it's not going to matter. We finished a second off a podium. We gave it everything in that final stint. Absolutely everything. My thumb is a mess. But it's a P4 finish. Driver of the day. P18 to P4. Helped no end by that phenomenal opening 2 or 3 laps. Then strategy came into play. The only reason we were able to close in on those front 3 is because of their highly inoptimal strategy. There was George also 1 stop, terrible strategy. Perez 1 stop, terrible strategy. Bottas finishes P9 in the end, so gets points for the team. But I think 105 might be about right for now. Bearing in mind that I am not going to be anywhere near as competitive at Vegas as I have been at COTA, Mexico, or here in Brazil. That is not my go-to track, to say the least. Performance updates currently see Aston Martin top, Ferrari second, McLaren third, then Red Bull. Mercedes are a long way down in 5th, but look how close it is. Then Alpine and ourselves, but we're hopefully getting a couple of upgrades here. We've got driver acclaim, which is nice. Upgrade to the chassis passes. Upgrade to the DRS maximum slot gap passes, which is going to be huge for Las Vegas. So what's going to happen at the race weekend? What's the weather going to be like? It should be dry in Las Vegas. Cold, yes, but dry, I imagine. Please no mixed weather. Mixed weather for practice only, but dry for the race. Developments completed. You'll love to see it. And the performance index sees us close yet further on those above us. Ourselves and Alpine. Sorry, no, rephrase. Ourselves and Haas close on Alpine. Ferrari take a slight advantage into this one and are now the first fastest team. But we are, in theory, now closer yet still to those front runners. So you can see for the performance index, ourselves, Alpine and Haas, pretty much neck and neck. Slightly behind Mercedes, then Red Bull, McLaren, Aston Martin and Ferrari are all grouped together. 105 at Las Vegas is going to be intense. Very, very intense. But we might stand the chance of getting some more good points in the next Grand Prix. Don't miss it. Do make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel so you don't miss out on it, that being ChesnoidPlays. Do come across and subscribe to the YouTube channel on Chesnoid Live to see all of the behind the scenes. Alternatively, feel free to join me on Twitch to see all of the behind the scenes with the streams. But that is going to be all for me for this YouTube video. I very much enjoyed that. My thumb needs a rest. Difficulty up to 105. Let's see how it pans out in Las Vegas and Abu Dhabi, two of my weaker circuits. And we'll see if maybe we need to alter the difficulty yet further, depending on where you vote for me to go next season. That's coming soon too. Hopefully you guys will have a fantastic Christmas. Do enjoy your festive period. If you don't celebrate it, then happy holidays to you instead. And I'll see you in the not too distant future, post-Christmas, to be completely honest. Between Christmas and New Year. That's all from me for now. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.